Hi guys, we are here to celebrate Tree Week with Mr. Sheroan, and we are going to plant a tree with the principal today.
Awesome. What kind of tree are we planting?
We are planting a sugar maple tree today, and it will replace a tree that used to be here, but now it wasn't doing very well. It was dying, so we're going to replace that tree.
Do you think your students will want to visit this tree like even after they graduate high school?
Oh, absolutely. They'll get to see this tree every day riding through the car circle line, and during STEM we'll get to come out and visit it, and even after they graduate they'll be able to come by and check it out and see how much it's grown since their time at Garden Springs.
That is awesome. And why is it important to plant a tree here on campus? What do trees do for our air?
Oh, trees make sure that we have plenty of oxygen to breathe. They make sure that our soil stays in top quality, and they're just very important to have around our environment.
I have a feeling Garden Springs students are going to love their new sugar maple. How should they love their sugar maple and make sure it stays healthy?
Well, students, you know our guidelines for success, the 3 B's. One of those is being respectful, and we need to be respectful to our new sugar maple tree. So please be gentle as you get around the tree, because we want to see this tree flourish and grow.
That's awesome. So maybe no picking on the bark or picking off leaves, but still loving it. They can hug it, but not picking off bark or picking off, because we want it to live and survive for many, many years to come. So Miss Kylie and Mr. Sheroan, do you all have any special stories about a tree that was really special to you as you were a student in your neighborhood or on one of your school campuses?
Well, I grew up on a farm, and we had so many trees that I was able to climb. I always loved going outside after school and climbing as high as I could and see what kind of adventures and what I could see from high in the sky up in those trees.
And I grew up in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and my parents planted a river birch. And I loved the shape of the tree, how it had 3 trunks, and how the bark peeled away from the tree. And as a young kid, I got to see that tree grow with me. So that's an experience I had with one of my favorite trees in my childhood.
Well, maybe this sugar maple may become some of Garden Springs Elementary's students' favorite tree that they'll be talking about when they're teaching maybe at another school, at one of their schools 20 years from now. Thank you all so much for inviting us here to plant this sugar maple. Let's invite an arborist. So arborist Sailor, you are an arborist for Lexington, Fayette County, for the city. Can you talk to us about what it means to be an arborist and how you got into that career?
Sure, yeah. So an arborist basically takes care of trees. So that's been my career path. My whole career I've maintained, managed, and taken care of trees that either planting or big mature trees. We get up in the trees and climb, or we have bucket trucks that will go up and prune dead wood out, and sometimes we do remove dead, diseased trees. I got into that path really when I do career days and I talk to students. I was one of those weird kids. I remember walking around my grandmother's farm, and I was just amazed at what a great lover of plants that she was. And she knew all the common names of the plants. And I was just really, her love for gardening, her love for plants and her vegetable garden and her flower gardens and all the trees and shrubs out in the woods when we would walk her 100 acres. That really sowed a seed in my life at an early age. And I was one of those weird kids. My senior year in high school, I knew I wanted to go to forestry school and pursue that path. And so most people that are arborists, they either get a degree in horticulture or a degree in forestry, and they basically spend their careers on some level maintaining and managing trees.
And you get to work with trees every day.
Yes, yeah, that's it's been a great career for me. It's one of the few careers that we have our own holiday, Arbor Day, and now we have our own week, Tree Week. So it's been a great, every day, to have a career that I get to make an impact here in Lexington, but also like spread that and pass that on to citizens and students, and so that they can kind of carry that passion into their generations, next generations.
Thank you. Arborist Sailor, what can you tell us about Garden Springs sugar maple? Is it a native tree? What are some interesting facts that we might not already know?
Yeah, so sugar maple is a native tree. They are all the gym floors that you guys will be playing on are primarily made from sugar maple. The bowling alleys, that wood is sugar maple wood. It's a beautiful large tree. The foliage in the fall is usually a bright yellow. You actually can, up north, you can do it here, you don't get as much yield, but up north they will tap these trees and make maple syrup. So that's something that you see in Vermont, New Hampshire, New England states, and Michigan. You do have some hardy souls that will try that, but it takes so much so much sap to make a gallon of syrup. I mean, it's like 40 gallons of sap to convert it to syrup. So it's not heavily it's not a huge industry here, but mostly in the Northeast where it gets colder and the starches in those trees can, you need basically several weeks of cold weather where it heats up and then gets cold again at night, and that basically helps yield higher maple syrup production. But yeah, this tree, it is a native. It's a great, the wood is really dense. If you've ever split the wood for firewood, it's a hard wood. It's a very hard, it's one of the higher BTUs if you burn the wood. So it's a great all-around tree for many uses. But hopefully this will be here for you guys to enjoy aesthetically and just the beauty of this tree for years to come.
I've learned a lot about sugar maples and Garden Springs' new tree. Thank you for the city. Quick shout out to the city for providing this tree and for helping us dig the hole and prepare for this tree. I think we're probably ready to start planting. I'm going to go ahead and let you all, John, or Arborist Sailor, I'm going to let you go ahead and start planting that tree with your helpers. And while you're doing that, Mr. Sheroan and Miss Kylie can help if they want, or they can just share one of the coolest things they've learned today so far about their sugar maple tree or the arborist career pathway.
Oh yeah. Slide it.
Another super quick shout out. Thank you to Fayette County Public Schools Operations Grounds and Miss Marshall, who has helped us decide on the right place and the right time for this tree and helping us water and helping us take care of all of our trees and all of our campuses.
Or was this one in the gravel bed? Nope. Okay, this one wasn't in our gravel, though we have a gravel bed that we planted several of these sugar maples in, and so this one actually was out in the field, but yeah, the winter creepers were. So we can.
So what are you all doing right now with the root ball of the tree?
So we're just trying to get all this green, just the grass and the winter creeper. We don't want that in the hole. So that'll help with just long-term maintenance and competition. And so we're just pulling that out. This one was actually planted in our nursery. We had several last year. I don't know if you guys did several of those gravel bed
We did,
plantings.
yes.
And that was just amazing because it was just the root wad on those trees where everything was focused on that root development. And this guy, it's got a pretty good root mat here, but I'm trying to pull out any of this green stuff.
Mr. Sheroan and Miss Kylie, when they're finished with that, do you all, one of you two, want to do the honors of using the shovel and putting the first shovelful of dirt in the hole?
I would be glad to put that first dirt shovel load onto our new tree. That's pretty exciting stuff for me. I get into moving dirt.
Well, Arborist Sailor, we'll follow your lead on when you think is the right time for
Okay.
Mr. Sheroan
Yeah,
to put that
you can-
first. Here we go.
All right, here we go. That's a pretty good scoop right there.
Woo! That looks like a really happy tree. I think that this tree is really happy to be at Garden Springs. I think it's going to be very loved.
You guys can take that part over.
All right. Any final words from anyone?
Again, we appreciate it, and happy Tree Week to everybody out there. Go out and plant a tree in our community.
Woohoo! Happy Tree Week, everyone!